Hello, man. So, if you are anything like me, you are very different to most other people. In fact, it's a bit more than that. You're different to everyone. Like, you don't know anyone like you. And I'm not saying some generalized thing to like try and make you relate to me right now. I'm talking about a very specific type of person. The reason I say this stuff is because like I am this way. And I find it fascinating that I don't know anyone else besides literally probably one or two people who are like this way. And it's very possible that you are like this. Yeah, so I'm going to explain what I mean by this, yeah? So, you are not like anyone else if you know. If you fucking know. If you get it. That the point of everything, what you're doing here, it's to awaken. It's to pursue truth. But it's not just to pursue truth, it's to go fucking all the way with it. Now, already, man, and this is completely normal, like a lot of people aren't interested now, yeah? That's normal. But if you're like me, man, you just always known. You just know, you have the intuition. But no one else around you takes this work as seriously as you. And don't mishear me when I say that, man. I don't mean like you're all serious and stuff. You're all rigid. No, man, no. You know to care about it deeply and pursue it really earnestly. Yeah? You don't fuck around. You love this work and you want to take it all the way. And you do take it all the way. You take it as far as you possibly can. Now, one thing that happens naturally, man, when you do take it far is, you've got to consider your worldly survival. You've got to think about, your life, your relationships, your finances, your friends, your family. You can't just fuck this stuff off and go and meditate or whatever. You've probably already tried to push the boundaries a little bit with it. You've probably tried to see, how far can I take this? Because the rabbit hole doesn't stop. It doesn't stop after one DMT trip or one deep meditation experience. No, man, you know. Now, again, man, I've spoken to probably thousands of people about this stuff. And you already know, man, you know how it is. 99% of people give the same kind of, generic response. And that's fine. There's no judgment, man. That's the way it's meant to be. But this is where you stand out. This is where you're different. Ready? Get this, yeah? You're not just the 1%. You're the 1% of the fucking 1%. You know, even within the 1%, that, people, and this is going to sound like really egotistical and spiritually egotistical, but people don't really grasp the depth of this work and the profundity of this work. People might listen to you and be like, oh, no, I resonate with what you're saying. I like that. Yeah, no, it makes me think of this. But they don't really know what you're saying. Have you had that experience, man, where you realize no one has any fucking idea what you're saying, and therefore you don't say what you know. And really, it's interesting, isn't it? It's not what you know, but it's what you fucking know. It's on the level of intuition. It's deeply known. And even as soon as you start to speak it, unless your articulation is fucking good, you're just not near it. Because anytime you try and conceptualize it, or even just put it into words, you lose it. You're like, fuck, why can't I put my finger on it? But then again, if because you're the 1% of the 1%, that's inevitable. You develop wisdom as to who you share this with, the depth of your knowledge. And it's not even fucking knowledge, is it, man? I use that word knowing. In fact, that's a better word. You have a knowing. Yeah? Because not knowledge, you can read spiritual books for days, brother. For days. You can watch spiritual videos for days and years, like I have. But at some point, you start to actually get it. And ready, get this, yeah? You're going to get it then, and then you're going to have another 10 or 20 or 30 levels. Holy shit, the first time I thought I really got it, I really didn't get it. I was so asleep. I thought I was awake. You see, you realize how ignorant your past self was. And then, because you're so wise, you realize this. Holy shit. If my past self was deluded with spiritual stories and ideas, thinking that they were wise, thinking that they had, good spiritual insight, what does that mean for me now? How am I deluding myself now? Is it possible that I'm still deeply, deeply asleep? That I'm still dreaming and I have fucking no idea what true spirituality is? Yes, that's more like it. You just need to drop the bullshit. And you need to get real with yourself. Because the deeper you go, the more truth you face. First of all, man, to be honest with you, you do develop a certain fearlessness. Because the higher your consciousness, the more you can see through fear. Very profound that. My biggest hang-up in life, in all of life, man, is fear. I'll tell you that honestly, brother. I imagine it's probably somewhat similar for you. Because that's the one thing that, you just can't, avoid that. You can't escape that. It's hard-coded into you. Another way of putting it is you realize you have an ego. And no matter how much spiritual work you do, you can't just walk away from that ego. You can't just bypass the ego. And you're going to do this work anyway. Yeah, so, you'll be living with the ego, but again, as I said, you'll have that fearlessness. You'll know it's safe, especially because the work that you're doing means that you surrender your mind. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Most people don't. Most people have absolutely no fucking idea of what surrendering your mind is, or surrendering to God. Most people, man, you know what they think if they heard that? They're going to think about some religious dogmatic bullshit, right? They don't really hear it, and even if they do, man, they're going to get it conceptually. Oh yeah, no, surrendering to God. I don't know about that for me, man. Right? It says the ego. Yeah, sure, but what this is. You know that you can't awaken as your ego. You can't awaken as your human self. You've got to surrender your mind to get it. To awaken to yourself as God. To become directly conscious of truth. You've got to surrender your mind. Now that's scary, I know. We're all fucking afraid of it, man, of course. Even, the people who are really into this, man. Advanced people. Of course we still feel the fear, man. That's like what I said earlier. You don't not have fear. You don't not have the ego. When I started doing this work, man, I was like, fucking hell, surely there's some way I can just sort of transcend the ego, I've heard a spiritual leader say that. Surely I can do that, right? And then you apply yourself. You do the spiritual work. And you don't just do it like other people. You do it like a fucking maniac. You learn meditation. You learn yoga. You learn breath work. You learn other various spiritual techniques. You put them into practice. You find your favorite ones. You find yourself going deeper. You raise your consciousness. You're like, holy shit, this stuff is real. Holy shit. And you can get good at it. And you can do it every day. And you can actually have breakthroughs. You can have insights. You can have awakenings. Now that's where things change. When you start to have awakenings, you're like, holy shit. Holy shit. What have I been doing? I've been so asleep. But here's the thing, man. Again, your ignorance, your unconsciousness, your asleepness. You still know you're fucking early on the path. These awakenings, they're still very shallow. If you can taste truth and taste God and taste consciousness, you can sense it goes a lot deeper than what you've experienced. And so you remain humble. And what's wise is to actually slow down. Yeah, because in the beginning, you'll probably be really sped up, trying to awaken as fast as possible, trying to be like unconditional love. My biggest hang up a couple of years ago was like, why can't I just be cool with surrendering to being unconditional love? Why can't I be it always? Why can't I just merge with the Godhead? You'll have lots of spiritual fantasies. But then over time you'll develop better wisdom and better judgment. You'll learn, you'll learn, you'll get it more, you'll mature more, and that will have you slow down, maybe take care of some other things in life, like finances, like relationships, like health. Then you'll come back, and then you'll start, continuing, but with even more integration, with even more maturity, with even more wisdom. And then, you look around. Is anyone else doing this? You look, you search. Anyone? No? No. No one else is doing this work. Even people that you think are doing this work are not really doing this work. Because naturally, man, what happens is, you'll project your standards, your intensity, your spiritual depth onto others. Now, that's not to say that no one else has it. Of course they do, man, in their own ways. And really, it's very ignorant of me to say this because I don't know if the person has it unless I'm really, really absorbing them, their soul. When you speak to someone and then you have a moment, oh, right, you are advanced. You get this stuff. I don't know. I don't know what others experience. If you're really into the spiritual work, to even question the notion of other. But that's a whole other fucking mindfuck that we don't need to go into right now. But anyway, dude, you look around, no one's there. What do? You're doing this all alone. And again, you're continually waking up to how ignorant you are. You think you're deep, you think you're serious, and then you make more progress and you look back in like 2-3 months, you're like, oh, fucking hell, man, I thought I was advanced. I was still in very shallow waters. And this happens again and again and again and again. And then you start realizing, like, holy shit, like, you start seeing people who, are where you were, say, a few years ago. And they think, oh, dude, I'm pretty fucking advanced. Now, that could be you just projecting, but still, you appreciate, like, okay, well, I'm really seeing that. I'm starting to see how this works. I'm starting to see that I am a lot more asleep than I think I am. That others have absolutely no fucking idea of the depth. Yeah, and again, like, it's really easy to hear these words and be like, dude, like, how could you say that? Like, how you don't know others' experience, you don't know for sure. Like, of course, man. But speak to people. Go to events. Go to one-on-one things. Have the deepest conversation with the deepest person you can find. And then realize that they have no fucking idea of this work. Sometimes, man, and I'm very guilty of this, I go to events and I try to find the deepest person there. This is my fucking spiritual ego here, man. I'll just say it. This is when I'm in spiritual ego. Sometimes I'm not, and I'm just chill and I can speak to the janitor or something, But sometimes, man, I will try and seek out the person who has real depth, who has real fucking understanding and insight, yeah? When you want to speak to someone who really fucking gets it, yeah? Like a high-level mirror. Someone who can really fucking feel you and you can feel them. Or sometimes, man, I will, try and speak to someone who understands at this deep level. And as I said, you never really know. But what happens time and time and time again is your intuition tells you, oh, okay, I see. No one is doing this work. When we say this stuff, man, we're talking about 99.9% of people. But that does leave us with a very, very small percentage of people who do. Which takes me to some positive stuff, which is you will find, 1, 2, 3 other people who are really, really serious about this path. Befriend them and you will have a nice time understanding each other. Now, of course, man, even that person, they're not there with you in your deepest awakenings. They're not there with you when you're realizing yourself, right? Because they're one of your dream characters, you could say. So even this person you will let go of, in fact, you probably would have let go of this person already. which is why you have such an amazing relationship. Because you don't need anything from them. Because they are pursuing truth and consciousness and God and love to such high levels, they are very free. They know what counts. They know what to go for. So do you. So how do you think you're going to be when you're with them? You know, I have a friend like this. I have one friend like this. I mean, I have other people who are close, but I have one friend in particular like this. And we've never needed anything from each other, and we never will. And we just meet, and we just exchange insights. And it's just so utterly peaceful and so authentic. And the cool thing is, like, because you have such a deep understanding of this stuff, like naturally you just go deep with other stuff. So I tell my friend about tons of my insecurities and personal stuff that, like, I don't know, it just came out of me. Because I know, like, if he gets it, it's not that if I know, I can feel it. You know, when you can feel someone understanding you, you feel the resonance. Stuff will just pour out of you because the trust is felt. It's very precious life stuff that you guys understand. But you just know that it's okay and it's safe to share and it's safe to talk about. You don't need to have secrets, you know? Watch how you feel when you disclose something that is really private to you, to this person who gets it. If they exist for you yet. It feels like nothing. And I'm serious because, like, on a really deep level, ready? You're telling nothingness. You're telling emptiness. You're telling God. You're telling the universe. You're telling pure consciousness. So what you're telling, it doesn't care. It's empty. It's just unconditionally loving. And it's just infinite. Your small little human problems and bullshit and worries, or whatever else, the universe just effortlessly cushions. And you'll feel this from someone who has great spiritual understanding. Now, man, here's the thing. You might go for a long time not having one of these people who gets it. You know what you have to do? You have to be that person for yourself. You have to start realizing that you are the universe and that there's actually a dimension to you which is totally divine. Yeah, I know you understand this because, like, you know, when you speak to yourself and you can feel something there because you can speak to yourself. And you also respond. But where you respond from is actually divine and metaphysical and extremely high consciousness. Yeah, it's like it trickles its way through down into your human experience, often through intuition and often through just empty-minded insight. Like, it just comes through you. Yeah. So you'll get answers from yourself. And this is what you need to do. You need to become best friends with God within you, your God self, the universe within. Now be careful. Don't try not to conceptualize this too much and think, okay, you know, got it. The universe within me. No. This is subtle. This is you on your own. This is you being conscious. This is you in tune with yourself. This is you when you're awake. And also, man, we haven't even talked about all the low consciousness that you will feel still, even as you pursue this path, even if you go really deep, you will still feel tons of ego backlash, just low consciousness and just shit states of mind, anxiety, fear, like worse experiences mentally, spiritually than before even. You know, sometimes the lows that you have, sometimes they can be, you know, even lower. But at the same time, like, they're not. Because after a certain point, after you develop a certain spiritual understanding, all suffering, you just always have a certain perspective on it. It's like you always have a certain witness to it. It's just not the same. Like at one point in your life you were really in it. Not the same. It's not the same anymore. But still you might have a lot of it. You might have tons of it. I've been pretty lucky in that the process that's happened for this Seb dude hasn't been insanely painful. But I see a lot of people who've, gone very far with this work, who've had to, basically just go through the pain route, like insane suffering, really serious mental health stuff. Yeah. Now, probably like you, I've had my moments, but I'm generally very stable. And I've been loved by a family, and I've been supported by a group of friends and so on. And I'm incredibly selective. You probably are too. Because when you really, go into this work, you go through a process. You get purified. You discover your true values. And then when you try and hang out with other people who you used to hang out with, you just can't truly be yourself. It's like you can't say certain stuff without basically like pissing the person off or like threatening their ego or just, you know what it is really, man? You just carry too much truth. You just embody a certain level of reality that if you were to really be yourself, the relationship wouldn't work. You let go of a lot of people. People who you love. People who you've had such good times with. Some of the people that I've had to let go of, man, I sometimes think like, man, my best fucking memories in my whole life are with these people. Or with this person, just a few people really, man. Because, I've always been just, quite selective. Not really a friends group, but just, friends who I'll go and be with. I think, oh man, do I really have to let that person go? But then you just listen to yourself. You just listen. The answer's obvious. You don't really have a choice. If you can hear me and you can hear these words and you can feel what I'm really saying here, I acknowledge you. Because I'm not talking about anything that anyone around you is talking about. And yet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because in you, there is an understanding. And really, there is in everyone. But for you, it's a deeper understanding. It's closer to the surface. It's a purer understanding. There's less noise. You have a better signal, better connection to it. Yeah, because one thing I've realised is everyone does have it. Everyone's the universe, of course. For a long time I thought people just didn't have it. No, everyone has a fucking soul. Everyone gets it. But it's about the depth. It's about the clarity. It's about, are you going to fucking commit your life to this? Yeah, not all in one go where you, even then I was, the example I was going to give there, man. I was going to say, give up all your possessions and go to India or something. But no, what even is that? It's just a culturally popular idea. It's how our culture understands or stereotypes what you do if you become hella spiritual. When you become hella spiritual, that's some fucking bullshit. Because the people who maybe appear like they're doing this work, maybe will do that. Now, there's nothing against that, man. You get me. I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying if you have the calling, it will occur for you in your own unique way. And I just want you to know that this video has been just scratching the surface. The truth is, man, I could speak about this forever. And I plan to. If you resonate with this message, and maybe, just maybe, you feel you have some of these things that I've mentioned within you, and you want to deepen and nourish what you have there, you can reach out if you want to. You can also work with me one-to-one. I don't offer that as just like a random plug I say that because I like working with people who get this stuff and who are serious and who want to go all the way. If you feel like you're one of those people, you can, as I said, reach out or connect via the coaching side of things and we can work together. But if not, that's cool too. Maybe you need a lot more time on your own. Maybe reaching out would be a really brave thing for you to do. Maybe you need a lot more time to integrate the stuff that's been happening. And maybe you just need more time to live. Because the only reason I'm here now with the level of spiritual insight and understanding and experience that I have is because I've just allowed it to happen more by getting older and by living it more. And I'm young. But again, the difference is your seriousness. Do you really want it? Do you know to go for it? If you know, I mean, you're sorted, aren't you, man? You're good. Because if you know, you might distract yourself for a bit. You might fall off the path for a bit. Hell, man, you might have loads of addictions. You might burn through all of that. But at some point, when you could say you get a bit of momentum, and when things align for you, you come back to your knowing and you pursue truth. And what will happen, which is probably already happening for you, is you're finding yourself. You're getting it. You're awakening. You're becoming conscious of truth. Okay? Man, I want to end this video very differently because this one feels way more deep and real and profound. I just want to say, man, if you watch this channel and you follow this work and you're doing this work at your own speed, of course, I just want to say, man, I love you. And really, you love you. Think about it. Not only am I you, but like you as a universe love you. Yeah, so you got your own back. So you don't need my love, but really, man, my love is just the universe's love, isn't it? I'm just a channel. Yeah, you're just loving yourself, ultimately. All right, man. Wow. We're going to call things there. My friend, lots of love. Take care. And as always, man,